too, and we had looked at his page, and you know, everyone has the right to their own opinion and so forth and so on. But he said something interesting. He was the first one to comment. He said, I want you to hear this. Cohen haplotype DNA is genetic sample extracted from certain Ashkenazi and Sephardim males who have a tradition of being descended from the Aaronic bloodline. It is this haplotype that is used as the standard to test against for all those non-Jews claiming Jewish ancestry. Lemba is one of them. The test has shown the Lemba have the Cohen haplotype, which means they have Ashkenazi Sephardim blood in them. It does not prove blacks are Jews. Is what we said? Are we trying to say that blacks are Jews? We're Hebrew people, yo. What can you get through your, through your ears, since you're not the owner of this channel, but you like checking out the videos? What can't you understand? But let's just conclude his first response. It proves the Cohen, Ashkenazi, and Sephardim Jews continued 45 minutes later, took about 2 minutes to write this, had a hand in the trans-Saharan slave trade. So when you say trans-Saharan, you're saying going from East Africa to West Africa? Are you somehow agreeing beyond the rivers of Ethiopia there? Breeding themselves into the Lemba population. So what you're saying is that these certain Ashkenazi and Sephardim males who have this tradition of being descended from the Aaronic priests or bloodline, you know what I'm saying, are the proof positive of being a Hebrew, or in your estimation, a Jew? Wow, that is deep. Because some of the Spanish Jews or Hebrews, the Sephardim, have communicated with many of us, saying that we're absolutely right, and there's a big difference between them who have links with the black Arabs and the black Hebrews or Jews that were exiled, you understand, or evicted out of Spain, and when their books and their books were burned. Ask yourself, at what time does both Arab and Jewish books get burned? It's when those particular Arabs or Jews, or Hebrews more correctly, Ishmaelites and Israelites and Medianites and Sabians as well, happen to be black. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about a particular people. We're not talking about all the other types of black people in the world, so forth and so on. You know what I'm saying? We even said in one of our earlier vlogs, we said not all black people, you know what I'm saying, are Hebrews. We recognize and we acknowledge that not all black people are Hebrews. You understand? It has to be in your DNA. You understand? But they don't have a test to test for this. And it's even racist. You see, they're setting themselves up by all this scientific, genetic, or ethnic mumbo jumbo. When you really look out for it, you know what I'm saying, there's something behind all this thing, like Zionism and Orthodox Judaism. Some of the Orthodox Jews, like some of the Hasidim, they basically are anti-state of Israel. I would advise all of you, just try to check that out. Do your own research. Why some of the Hasidim, you understand, are not all, but there's certain sects who are vehemently anti-Israel. You understand? Not Israel, their Bibles, because they're Jews, they're Orthodox, but anti-state of Israel. This is the Hasidim. This is not us. Are you going to say are they anti-Shemitic too? You understand? Or they just have a right to have their own opinion. They have a right to express their own opinion. See, there's something deeper than this, and you shouldn't be focusing on us. You know what I'm saying? You should be focusing on the serpent that's in your own bosom, not on us. You understand? But anyway, let me just conclude what Kahania said. Oh, you're the Kahan, you're the priest of Yah. Is that what you're saying? Anyway, however, it matters not how much Lemba receive, how Lemba receive, people receive the Ashkenazi Kohen blood. They can claim Jewish ancestry. Oh, you mean according to your standards? Well, let me tell you something, buddy. You are not Yahweh Eloheinu, so it's not according to your standards. You know what I'm saying? Because the pit that ones are digging, they're digging a pit for themselves. They're going to fall down in this pit themselves. You understand? Because you're saying that the Lemba received, you're trying to assert the Lemba received it, you understand, by having sex with the Ashkenazi Kohen, and then they try to lump the Sephardim, while the Sephardim were actually up in Spain. You know what I'm saying? If any place they made it to was to North Africa, you understand, along that region, or they went further into Europe. You understand, the Spanish Jews or the Sephardic coming from the black Hebrews, the Ishmaelites and the Israelites. You understand? How about we put it like this, that the reason why the Lemba and other peoples wasn't taken up into the trans-Sub-Saharan or Saharan slave trade is because when these Ashkenazis, you understand, saw that these were Hebrews, it wasn't just because their religion. These people could defend themselves like Hebrews. You see, that's the real test. You understand? Survival is the test. You understand? The test of time. You understand? Our people, even over here in the Americas and the Caribbean, have proven that. The test of time. Because Yahweh Eloheinu is on our side. So no matter how much these little pundits and others that are trying to dissuade or kind of give us distraction, you understand, and diversion, point us in the other direction, you know, make us think, oh, the Lemba people, they receive Ashkenazi Kohen blood because the Ashkenazis F them. This is what he's implying by his comment right here. You understand? He goes on and says, well, they have legal right to petition the government of IsraEL to recognize them. The government of IsraEL, what happened to Yah? You see, Yahweh, y'all are not looking at that. You see, and there's going to be a paradigm shift as we go into this age of Aquarius. Some of y'all know what we're talking about, but we're just using this as a certain time, a certain gate that we're about to pass into after Tikkimt. You understand? Tikkimt, right? After, what is that, baptism, right? After the baptism. We're about to go through a spiritual and a fiery baptism very soon. This is what's about to happen. And I'm looking at the Ethiopian calendar, January 19th, and the very next day is January 20th. And guess what happens on January 20th? A new president gets inaugurated. Now, some of you will say, well, I don't care about that, Yadon. I don't care about that, Ras, because he's down with AIPAC and he's down with the Zionists. So what? You're in America. So if another one were to come and look at you, who could they say you're down? I'm just saying, just be careful. We're not going to be focusing on that aspect, but focus on the big picture. The big picture aspect of it is this, and this is, oh my goodness, if I had the option to communicate this to you, but everybody's going to feel and is going to know it. Think about it for a moment. We're about to go into the age of Aquarius. There's going to be a whole paradigm shift as ones and ones are beginning to grow, you understand, in the knowledge and the recognition, you understand, and the consciousness. You see what I'm saying? Being caught up into the ether, the real ether on the conscious wavelength. There's a higher consciousness. When we turn from disobedience to obedience, guess what? Not even guess what? Know this. Yahweh is on our side. The Moshiach is our guide. So it doesn't matter which particular man-made government, so forth and so on. Because we see all these man-made governments, you understand, are somehow interconnected with other man-made governments, and very few, if any, truly trust in the God of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. Many may say they do, but few don't. So having a legal right to petition the government of Israel to recognize them, you understand, that's not the main point, Kahanya. It's not the main point. I chose to respond to you on this scientific, genetic, eugenic mumbo jumbo kind of stuff, you understand, because you conclude your point right here. You say, if any blacks, see how general these people are. We're saying we're Hebrews, and they want to just say blacks. You understand? If any blacks, they don't say if any Hebrews or black Hebrews, just blacks. Y'all don't want to recognize it. That's your problem. You understand? But remember, there's a paradigm shift. There's a consciousness shift coming. Are you ready for it? He says, if any blacks outside Lemba tribe want to claim Jewish heritage, what are you talking about? They are Hebrews. They will be Hebrews. You know what I'm saying? They will go through the same test as the Lemba. Were the Lembas trying to claim Jewish, you understand, heritage? They were done claiming Hebrew heritage long time through all the ups and downs. And actually, it's really the opposite way around. You understand? The Ashkenazis and Sephardics and other groups, you understand, if they do have any legitimate DNA, Y chromosomes, they got it from us. Who's conducting the test? Let us have our scientists run some tests on them, comparing with some of us, certain of us, and let us see how the tests work out. Are you, for scientific purposes, are you down for that? I mean, are you willing to do that? It's mainly a bunch of scientific mumbo jumbo, but we're just proving to you that there's proof out there to prove the truth. So don't present it like that, Kahanya. I mean, we just advise you. It's your choice what you want to do. But thanks anyway for your comments, because it's interesting to reason and discuss and dialogue with somebody like yourself, who really believes what you're saying is true. Too, and we had looked at his page, and you know, everyone has the right to their own opinion and so forth and so on. But he said something interesting. He was the first one to comment. He said,